What's up, everybody? Here to give you another update on all the things going on in our church right now. And honestly, I am fired up. I can just feel kind of God moving in incredible ways. We are launching a new church, Radiant Covenant Church, with Zach and Jill Riley. We have a few people from our church who have jumped into the launch team. They're going to be heading out kind of officially starting in September, which we're really excited about. They're kind of continuing to build momentum. And even as we're launching that church, I really sense God is telling us that we are relaunching Covenant Grove. I think we've learned a lot of things through this pandemic, a lot of things over the last 11 years as a church. And I really feel like God is just pulling us forward and saying, here we go. There's new people coming in every single week, again, which is really fun. It's been a very interesting year, as you all know. I'm sure it's been interesting in your life, it's been interesting in church, it's been interesting in my life. But it's really an exciting time, and I'm just so glad and excited about what God is doing. I love this idea of launching and relaunching. One of the big lessons I learned out of last year, I think we all learned, is just the absolute importance of worship together. There is no substitute for it. It's one of the reasons that we are doing REFUEL this Friday. 6 o'clock is dinner. If you can make it, we will provide the food. You can come. And then 7 o'clock is going to be worship, and it's going to be outside. It's going to be out loud. Bring your own chair. We'll have extras. Invite other people. It's so important to worship together. I remember last year when we started REFUEL, we'd have people just come by just because they needed it. It's fuel for our souls. It's so important to worship God together. We can always worship God. We can worship God on our own. We should worship God in the car. We worship God in the shower. We can worship God, and we should worship God all the time. But there's a reason why God calls his people to worship together, because there's something about what's called corporate worship in the body of Christ, that just changes us and grows us. There's a verse in Matthew 14 where Jesus has just walked on water. Jesus has called Peter to walk on water, and then he gets in the boat in verse 32. And as soon as he climbs in the boat, the wind stops, the storm stops. I want you to think about that analogy for our lives. And the disciples worshiped him, and they said, "You really are the Son of God." They worshiped him together. There's this realization and this understanding of who God is as we're together, and it changes us and it grows us. And we love worshiping God together. And I just want to encourage you, continue to find as many ways as you can to gather with God's people and have that worship time. And I think as I look back in the past, I just sort of almost took worshiping together on Sunday for granted. It was always like, hey, you're here on Sunday, now go get involved in this other thing. And that was true. We still want people in groups and on teams. But honestly, I think as I look back, I realized that, worshiping together on its own is super important. And we need to be consistent in that. We need to be faithful in that. We need to prioritize that. So I hope you've learned that lesson as well. And I'm just feeling that and sensing that momentum in our church. And it's exciting just to see what God's doing and just be following God. All right, some updates about what's going on in different areas of our church. Kids ministry, just this last Sunday, did a splash party, just got a big old bounce house slide thing, water gun fights. They had 25 kids show up. It was hot outside. They had a blast. Their families were there. People who hadn't been in church in a while, kids actually we hadn't seen for years, showed up. Super incredible. They're also doing a kind of mini VBS. They're calling it Kids Wild Science Weekend. If you want to get signed up for that, you can email the church office, home@covenantgrove.org. We're also going to put the information up on our website at covenantgrove.org. This is going to be an incredible time for kids to learn about God, learn about how God created science and how we can use science to get closer to him. It's going to be incredible. So please try to get everyone you know, neighbors, grandkids, kids, everything, sign up for that. It's going to be a blast. And I'm super proud of our kids ministry people and our leaders for stepping up in this time and going above and beyond. Our youth ministry just also came back for an incredible summer camp. They went to Santa Cruz. I know that's really, really hard, but they did it for Jesus. And they had a bunch of kids in our youth group. They had new kids coming who have no youth group home. The leaders were there, so there was about 30 people there total. It was unbelievable. I've heard some stories from my kids. I'm going to be catching up with Pastor Nick soon and hearing more of the stories. It just sounds like it was an absolute unbelievable time. And they talked about renewal in Jesus and how to do that. And Continue praying for our kids ministry and our youth ministry. They're reaching new people. There's new kids coming into our youth ministry all the time. God's doing incredible things, and we're so thankful for that. Our adult ministries have amazing things going on as well. We had a ton of people in life groups in the summer. They served all over the place. We are a church that loves to serve in our community. Everything from the gospel mission to helping out missionaries in other countries to everything in between. There was so much serving that goes on. And then coming up in the fall, we're gonna have Fight Hunger, Love Modesto, and then so many different ways that people serve in individual ways. I love that our church wants to serve with Jesus in our world and make our world a better place. That was incredible. The college career did a mountain hike, which was awesome. Women's ministry has an event coming up called Trio of Fun. So you can check out the website or email that we send out. You can give you information about that. Very, very cool stuff. Really love what's happening in our life groups. So they're gonna be taking the month of August off on a break. But I love that a lot of our life groups just keep connecting. They kind of do a little event or do a little food thing. And then September, we will restart. And I want to encourage every single person in our church to be part of a life group coming in the fall. Don't forget the lessons you learned about how important it is to connect. And of course, we talked about worshiping together. All right, a few other things for little update things. The first is, if you haven't noticed, the tent is down. I want to thank the guys who got together to take that down. They got together early in the morning, but it's still very hot out. So we're just so thankful that our church provided that. The giving that you've been giving provided that. We're able to worship outside in that for months. We're hoping to do it again when we do construction. Just so incredible. But now we have that parking spot back open, and we're glad for that. Giving, I want to give you some updates on giving. For the month of June, the total budget is $46,675. That's for congregational giving. There's a few other income things that we have, like the cell phone tower and stuff like that. Total giving was actually $37,627. That puts us short about $9,000, $9,048 to be precise. And so I just want to continue to encourage you as God puts on your heart to give. Continue living that out. I know sometimes in the summer we get out of that habit, so I want to encourage you to stay in that, especially as we're moving forward, especially as we're kind of looking at staff positions, filling them in. Brent and Serena are on staff. Kids ministry has some movement to continue to look for worship minister, pastor. So we're just excited about that. So continue giving faithfully. Year to date, I want to give you an update on that as well. The budget is $487,303. And the year-to-date actual is $473,931. That puts us short for the year only $13,372, which is great. We'd love to obviously meet our budget, but again, because we've been short-staffed a little bit this year and had our staff covering in many different areas, we actually are doing okay in our kind of budget versus actual department. But I want to continue to encourage giving. Building Hope, total brought in so far to date is $975,624. That's the total. Our pledge is over $1 million. I think at this point it's at 1.125. That's a 3-year thing. Continue giving faithfully to that. I'm giving faithfully to that. It changes how we do things as we give sacrificially. It changed how I did time off. We couldn't fly out to our family reunion in the Midwest. We had to drive. But honestly, that was incredible. I thank God for those memories. And as we give to God, He just provides in such incredible ways. So God's doing incredible things. That Building Hope giving, Radiant Covenant Church, our church plant, is happening because of that money that's being given. We're planning to give $35,000 to $40,000 to Radiant for church planting, and there might be more church planting in the future that can come out of Building Hope. We're going to start a mission project, and we're going to form a team of people together to actually look at where is there a place, because we designated 2% of our Building Hope money to go for missions, and so we're going to get a team of people together to say, where should we be designating this $20,000 to $25,000, and just finding some mission projects, whether they're local or international, whatever, and blessing people with this money that you have given, that we have given together. There's nothing better than just saying, hey, look, we have money that we want to give you for missions. It's just absolutely incredible. People's lives are being transformed. New people are coming in. People are having conversations with me. I'm having great talks with people on the phone, in person. Our pastors are as well. It's happening in groups. It's happening everywhere. God is on the move. I love what's going on in our church. And then, of course, this Friday we have Refuel. We're in a sermon series called The Way of Wisdom. It was absolutely incredible. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about finance. We're talking about work. This week we are talking about work and money. It's going to be great. So I don't know what else to say. It's just absolutely incredible. I'm so thankful for you. Thankful that you're listening to this. Thankful for your prayers. Thankful for you jumping in. Our goal is for church not just to be something that we attend, but something that we are together because we're better together. And God has grown us through this season. And I'm super excited about all that He has in store for us. So God bless you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for participating. All that sort of stuff. I'm super excited and can't wait to see you hopefully on Friday and on Sunday. God bless you. Okay, bye.